Okay, we're live.
So I want to tell you something very interesting. We speak about knowing God now. Uh, People speak about, I don't want to knock off people who said, love the children, and they don't know what love is about. I don't want to say they don't know what love is. We are creating the idea of love. So love is a fake thing. The only thing is real is me being real. Why I'm saying these words, the reason I'm saying it, the reason I'm saying it, I had a very interesting thing what happened yesterday. I was by Rab Menachem Mendel Chanin, and I said, and I realized people learn the Rebbe's Maimorim when they try to explain and be wise. And I said, no, this is, when I realized the Rebbe's Maimor is not it's a technology, it's a physical, it's a thing, this is it. It's a thing, you have to understand what is it. So look what's happened. So Rabbi Isaac, I know it is a a big thing for you. I remember. So Hashgacha Pratis, every word is became like Hornecha Hashem Elokecha. Whatever you say, it's like doesn't stop. So I want to say what happened. So I told them this is technology. Look what he did. He said, Reb Menachem Mendel Chaim said, so the letter of the Rebbe comes out. Is also a technology. I said yes. It's crazy what he said. What it means like this: when the Rebbe answers somebody a letter, an answer, it's a technology. It's a technology. If you don't know the technology, that means it doesn't applicable to you. You don't know how to apply it. It doesn't mean it's not a technology, but the technology is basically everything you hear, everything you know is a technology. It's you. What I'm speaking about the Posach Elio, what I want to say is, when people see, I'm thanking God that Reb Levi in the Wilkes-Barre, that I met Reb Levi. I'm thanking God that I fought with Reb Levi so many years, when I know to love him so much. And I know it's so good, the fights. It was amazing fights. Here's over Rabbi Yisrael Godel. Rabbi Yisrael, you said Rabbi Yisrael in a Shia FiveAlive over here. Oh! Okay. So, what I want to say like this, the body has to get used to. So what's happened, why we have another guy, London. They used to come to FiveAlive in Wilkes-Barre, and I spoke to him. He's a guy in London. He knows everything. So I see him and comes FiveAlive. You know what he tells me? He knows it bothers him, but he start to realize he's square. So he said he start to come FiveAlive. He sees opening other gauges. He breaks walls that he used to have. Very, very important thing what I'm telling to you now. So I'm not saying nothing. I've learned the Maimon Posach Elio, and I realized I can tell you, I'll be honest with you. Don't be mad at me if I say it, but nobody in the world learned a mimer like I learned Pasach Elio. Not because I learned it. I don't have a choice. If
Here's the thing.
If you learn a mimer, not have a choice, it's a different world. If you can't walk.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Not that I don't want to stop you. Just want to continue hearing you in different methods. Okay. Let's read the. Where's the papers? Shalom, where's. Oh, sorry. Talking about letters of the Rebbe, we're about to do it. There you go.
You're getting the technology right here. Let's continue. We're right. We're holding by the clue.
It's good to see you.
Up to 3, no? We did 1 and 2? That's what we did 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Ow!
So should I start? Or I'm gonna start. Yeah?
It sure fits you.
Chair fits me? I like this chair.
You look beautiful in here, right?
Okay, so we're holding number 3, right? Your whole letter, 2.5 closely typewritten pages, is full of your own expectations and disappointments, as if everybody owes you everything, but no one has a claim on you.
Your whole letter, 2.5 closely typewritten pages, is full of your own expectations and disappointments, as if everybody owes you everything, and no one has a claim on you.
Your whole letter, 2.5 closely typewritten pages,
is full of your own expectations and disappointments. As if everyone owes you everything, no one has a claim on you.
Rabbi Yaska, you're reading number 3. Rabbi Yaska, you're reading number 3.
Can't read now. I just walk into a house. Just a second, I'm going to be with you. Okay?
Hey, Asher Kaya. Hi, anyway. Shalom, Schwartzberg. How far are you guys?
Just rolled up.
Beautiful.
So, you guys together. I'm saying
Your whole letter.
You have to buy for $5. I have to buy cake. God wants.
There we go. Okay.
Your whole letter, 2.5 closing typewritten pages, is full of your own expectations and disappointments. As everyone owes you everything, no one has a claim on you.
Uno más.
The whole letter, 2.5 closely typewritten pages, is full of your own expectations and disappointments, as if everybody owes you everything, but no one has a claim on you.
Your mine.
Your is.
Whole, half.
Rabbi Yaska, whole.
Whole Pete.
Pet. Go ahead.
Letter of the law
I do letter?
of
Yes.
Letter document.
Okay. Let us begin. So, right, so the Rebbe first, I like what Tzvi said yesterday. So I'm going to kind of elaborate a little bit on that. How you respond to somebody, you say their question. So first of all, it's amazing because if not, we wouldn't have hundreds of letters. We'd have no idea what the question was. You always assume it's like nothing to do with what I would have written to the Rebbe, you know. It's not really applicable to me. But like, you know, the Rebbe responds to him and says, you know, how you said it, how you explain yourself. And then the Rebbe, you know, mentioned how, you know, he said I got it, so that the guy shouldn't think that it's irrelevant to me. You know, it's very relevant. The Rebbe understands my question, he understands my point that I mentioned. Good morning, good morning.
Oh, it's cool.
And then he says, you know, in your own question, I see an answer. And he says, oh, you're speaking about it. He's like, good morning, good morning.
I think I see from this paragraph already how we read 2 and the Rebbe said how your letter has your solution. So I think the Rebbe's already getting to, you know, what the Rebbe's going to at least try to find the solution from. It looks like it has to do with the fact that he's focusing on his own disappointments. That part of the issue, and part of the clue to the solution would be in the fact that the guy is just drenched in his disappointments. I guess, yeah, it's one that's saying that everyone owes him something. I'm not sure what no one has a claim on me, but I think that's the way the Rebbe's going, looking at, you know what I mean, not making sure the guy isn't criticizing himself. So I think that's what the Rebbe's starting to answer.
So reading this and how a person could have the solution right by his nose, and his whole life he's walking around with a grudge on his back, like why his expectations, his disappointments, and he doesn't have any responsibility towards anyone. And it makes me wonder, like, where am I holding with regards to that? Like, I know that I come down very hard on people to be united, to be together, and you know, and in a way, it's like it's overbearing. You know, people are like, yo, relax. I just want to be in my own little corner, my own little box. Leave me alone. And like, I start asking myself, am I being overbearing? Am I pushing my agenda? Am I working on myself? Am I contributing in the way that I need to contribute? And yeah, I'm left with the question. So I don't know what to say.
So I will just jump in. It's a very interesting thing. We had a conversation in the morning. you have a guy, Israeli guy, his name is Marlon Morano. He's the only soldier that you don't allow to show his face. And he is, one of the things is, when he used to train in the army to how to fight, so nobody liked to train with him because he used to train, he really used to punch you. The trainer said, now punching. He used to give him all the might and kick like killing. He said, that's what you have to learn. You have to do it all the way. Nobody said, the guy said, don't, no, he gives you a big punch. Nobody liked to train with him. And he was the most successful because everything he did is serious. So whatever you do is really if it's serious or not serious. If you, it's very, what you're aiming for. Now we're aiming for the whole world to become a place that everyone should think like we have to think. That's we're using our brain. This is the way we're going to use our brain to think. Then and we have so somebody told me, Yoske, what do you your whole day with Shurim? I said, this is what God does.
Yes, I guess this is already an exciting part of the line where we get some bitush, where the guy is getting the exciting part from the end, but the one that kind of not only doesn't make sense, kind of a little like questioning like, but no one has a claim on you, meaning people are supposed to, and now your whole life everyone's telling you, you're telling yourself that you're supposed to be yourself, do what you figure out who you are, but have a claim is a big one. So I'm just curious, what does it mean that other people actually could have a claim on you? If it means a taina, meaning they're upsetting you, I mean, you have tainus today and tomorrow, but it sounds stronger than that. And so yeah, this is probably the biggest problem that I personally have, and a lot of guys, they come to new places, and they expect everything.
Morning, everyone. I don't know, just one. On the first line, it says 2.5 closely typewritten pages. I like the way he singles that out. He took the time to closely typewritten, like he took the time to say that he took his time to do it. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. So.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Again, I feel like, I can say it. Basically, having a claim on someone, meaning like he's basically like the line before that. Like, in context, I see it as if everyone owes you everything, as if everyone's like the world was created for me, and then like I don't have to do anything to contribute, but nobody has a claim onto my like capabilities, like meaning like I don't owe anything to anybody else, like even though I clearly do, because like I'm saying, this world wasn't created for me, it was created for all of us, and I have to contribute my part. And people do have a claim on me, not like that they can tell me what to do, but they have a claim to tell me that like you have to use your capabilities to do certain things. And the Rebbe's doing that right now. He's calling him out. He's like, you got to do what you got to do. Stop biatching and do what you need to do. And more.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that he explained and clarified that, which is pretty powerful. You know, they say like the customer is always right, and that's like a claim that's, you know, the whole America has been saying that for like who knows how long, and now they're starting realizing it. You know, customers are actually not as happy if you always show that they're right, and they're just not as happy, and I think that's exactly what the Rebbe is saying here. It's like, you know, if you come in there and like any little thing is wrong, then you complain.
Customers. You gotta be nice to your customers. Customers make a mistake too.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, what's the Rebbe trying to tell me from the letter? Every time the Rebbe writes a letter to someone, it's directly geared to each one of us. So I'm trying to think of myself, what's the Rebbe trying to say? I think what I'm getting to is the Rebbe's just taking the stance that it's not all about thinking about what could people give me, it's more what can I give to people.
So it says Noach invented some sort of threshing machine. Until then, people were like sticking sticks into the ground. It was painful work. So now I have a big debt to Noach because thanks to him, there's a lot more food, etc. With each individual that invents something and brings a contribution to the world, I'm the one wearing the clothing that someone had to make. So I do have a big debt to society. So think about that. Yes.
Rabbi Yaske. Is he there? Rabbi Yaske, are you all there? No, go ahead.
So number one, what Rafi pointed out is actually pretty cool. Now, like when someone forget about writing, when someone speaks to you, you barely hear what he's saying, or maybe you do. But you're like, thousands of people writing letters. Reb's like pointing out every little detail of the letter. Pretty cool. I'm just gonna have to take the defense of the guy for a second. Truly never island. Where was creative for him. Just for him. But right here.
I've been locked out of my Amazon account.
I know that feeling.
Very sad. I knew my man.
Coffee, it's not that sad, but I don't really care. Care a little bit. Oh yeah, it's like we finally came up with the title. Me, like Kobe was asking me for titles, like that would be a good title. Giving back. Hence your explanation. People say things that they see from their perspective as if everyone does it.
Wow. Hey, moving along. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mail's supposed to the iPad. Because anyways. So number 4. Yet, even a brief reflection will clearly reveal that the universe we live in is ordered in a system of give and take. And the personal universe of the individual, the microcosm, must likewise conform to this system of reciprocal relationship. Consequently, when one disrupts or distorts this system, it must necessarily bring about a distortion in one's immediate surroundings, and especially in one's inner life.
Yeah, even a brief reflection clearly reveal the universe we live in is ordered in a system of give and take. The universe of the neutral micro must likewise conform to the system of reciprocal relationship. Consequently, one's disrupt or distort its system necessarily be distorted one's immediate surrounding, especially one's inner life.
Even a brief reflection clearly revealed that the universe we live in is ordered in a system of give and take, and the personal universe of the individual, microcosm, must likewise conform to this system of reciprocal relationship. Consequently, when one disrupts or distorts the system, it must necessarily bring about a distortion in one's immediate surroundings and especially in one's inner life.
Yeah, even a brief reflection will clearly reveal that the universe we live in is ordered in a system of give and take, and the personal universe of an individual, the microcosm, must likewise conform to this system of reciprocal relationship. Consequently, when one disrupts or distorts the system, it must necessarily bring about a distortion in one's immediate surroundings, and especially in one's inner life.
Looks like Rubioska's not.
Yes.
Rubioska, you there? Yeah, no. Go ahead. One more.
You put a picture of himself there?
No, when it's
No, it's profile
like if
picture.
someone calls, for example, you pick up. So
Yeah, yet even a brief reflection. Oh no. Yep.
yeah.
The brief reflection will clearly reveal that the universe we live is an order in a system of give and take. In the personal universe of an individual, the micro must likewise conform to this system of reciprocal relationship. Consequently, one who disrupts or distorts the systems must necessarily bring about this, distortion in one's immediate surroundings, especially in one's inner life.
All right.
Just continue where we're holding from the last paragraph. We're in the last
Yes.
paragraph.
I start.
Like you guys did words from here, so you want to just continue from here?
Oh no, I want to just continue with the new one.
Because then we only get like the beginning words.
I start.
Yeah.
Yet not.
Yet?
Not.
Yet, Amazon.
Even odd. You didn't. What? One? When?
A Reb. Chassid.
Brief, quick.
Okay. Rafi, you got a minute?
Nice. They didn't really listen, huh? I'm not gonna lie. It's spaced out. So I'm gonna pass. Make you stand up again.
You make me do anything. Trust me. I think this is what the circle is all about. Like this is literally a description. You give and you take, and if you don't give and you don't take, then the circle is messed up, and you see it clearly. And it's very obvious when especially when someone's actively trying to go against what we're trying to do here. You can, like, everyone could feel it instantly. There's an imbalance. If there's only taking and no giving. You come here, you get all the, like, you take cookies, you sit down in your seat, space out, you go on the trip, everyone's like, there's no balance there. And yeah, of course it goes across life like it says here. But this is like as clear as it gets. I like this. This is like a key to life. Like as clear as it gets. You give as much as you take.
Well, it's really beautiful. Here's a challenge that I think that I have, right? Is that when I see like things like this, it's so easy for me to see how it applies to everybody else. Like, what do you mean? Anybody asks me, I'll show you exactly how it applies to you. I don't think in a way of how it applies to me, because when it's a little bit more, like you see this, the Rebbe's like you said, he's calling him out on it, and he's really putting him in a place over here. You can feel it, right? You can see it in the Rebbe's words. He's, I mean, I love how you pointed out, the sensitivity and the fact that the Rebbe said the 2.5 closely typewritten page, but it's like adding. He's like, you filled up this entire letter, 2.5 closely typewritten pages, and it's like not a single thing about somebody else or what people expect of you. So yeah, I have to ask myself. Why?
I think this point is one, because I was thinking about this yesterday, how specifically I was thinking about the idea of relationships with people, with the Rebbe, with God, that if I'm not giving something, basically if I'm not sacrificing, more practically, if I'm not doing things that I wouldn't be doing, if not for the Zulas, the person or the God or the one I'm trying to have a relationship with, and I'm not going to feel the realness. And the Rebbe is answering right here, the world was built like that. The world is built that as a human being, I'll only feel the connection to the person or even to something, to the activity, if I'm actually if I'm pushing my limits, if I'm giving, if I'm taking from something, basically something I would not be doing, something that's very uncomfortable for me, and I push through that, then I'll start feeling the realness in the relationship. So I think in that specific point, I see on the Rebbe like
Maybe I really like what you said. For me, what the nature video that talks to me is there's like this huge whale, and like there's these tiny, I don't know, fish types that are swimming under the whale, and they eat the bacteria like that's scratching the whale, but the whale protects them from the sharks. So it's a very clear give and take. The whale's like, thank you, and meanwhile the shark comes, the whale's like, you want me to knock you over? So like they got a deal going on. And I remember watching that, and that spoke to me like, whoa, that's pretty cool. My mind went blank. So pass.
So number one, General, I was telling Sonia, I think, that a lot of times when I was in Yeshiva earlier, you used to write to Igor, so a lot of the answers, there were some really good answers, but a lot of the answers was, you check your Torah, whatever. You take out the English letters, and you realize that it was just demanding you to, number one, be a mensch. Something that line that some people love and some people hate, to be a mensch. But you see how the Rebbe keeps on demanding that it's not about holy things, it's not about the most, you got to go crazy. You got to just learn how to be around people and learn how to deal. And if you want something, if you want to expect something, then you gotta be expected to give. Now the question I have is, what happens if you are giving in and you get to that expectation? Okay, I'm going even quote unquote Mesiras Nefesh. Now I'm not getting back from others.
I'm still really pissed about this Amazon thing. Because they have my credit card information. And I had a coffee yesterday, man. Decaf. That sucks.
And no one's giving you anything. It's so terrible. I think, Mendel, I think what you're saying is almost impossible, if not totally impossible. I think we're always receiving, and we don't realize how much we're receiving on a daily basis, especially nowadays. Everything we have has been given to us by, like, so many years of so much crap that people went through. Just our existence is like a gift. It's insane how much we're given every day.
Completely. Good point. Also, what half of davening is, right? We ever pay attention to what we're saying in davening. Probably realize that we have a lot of stuff. Shoes, feet that work. I don't have extra holes in my body. I'm not missing any holes that I should be having. So yeah, some pretty amazing stuff. And I think that the trick is to be thankful, right? So you have a hole in your head.
My brain is like, I'll go back to sleep. So probably fall asleep.
yeah, I think Sean really hit it really good. I don't have to realize how much I'm getting, and I think also a way to realize that the more I'll give, the more I'll really give over, the more I'll sacrifice, the more I'll go out of my comfort zone, I'll actually see how much more I'm getting. I think that's the direction, right? The way if I give more, I'll see more. Again, that's what they're ever saying. That's the world is. So it works both ways.
I wish I could say I agree with Shalom, Rabbi Isaac, and Levi, but on this I completely disagree. I completely resonate with Mendel. You have someone who's going on complete Mesiras Nefesh every day to fight, to live as a Jew, and to contribute to a little light in this darkness. And it's like, yo, I wrote to the Rebbe yesterday as I committed, and I said, Rebbe, $750 million in my bank account, and this world is united.
Yes, sound in the right place. You have 23 seconds.
Amazing.
What, everybody?
Why, Sean?
Well, we have the S11. So it's a pleasure. I don't know what we've been talking about today. I can tell it's been holy. Feel the energy in here. Fire. Absolute fire. Have a great day, everybody.
So I hear what you're saying, and I maybe I'm not appreciating it enough. But from Chief's perspective, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that you could be going sometimes with citizen and efficient. And maybe the solution is, as long as you're giving, you're expecting something back. That's something you're not going to get it. You have a mindset that you're here to give. Then maybe you're going to start seeing and you're going to appreciate what you get back. But fortunately, I don't see it all. Always.
I want to do another round of comments. Not gonna do it.
Should be 3 minutes.
Too much. It's the reason it's
Read the next
It's
paragraph.
on you.
Okay.
Five, guys.
Man. Now, judging by your own description, divine providence and the society in general have been quite generous to you. You've been gifted with more than the average measure of intelligence and mental capacities. You have been given opportunities of education. In other words, you've been on the receiving end. But forgive me for being so blunt. It did not occur to you, judging from your letter, that you might owe something to the society. That you might have obligations to participate in it actively and help it be best and help it better. And help to better it by putting to good use some or all of the mental gifts and capacities with which you have endowed. Heaven knows that our society is far from perfect and that there is much to be done in the way of raising its standards of justice and morality. How do you read that word? Morality. That's the one, morality. It is the basic duty of everyone to contribute one's share towards this end. Yeah, sure.
Now, judging by your own description, divine providence and the society in general have been quite generous to you. You have been gifted with more than the average measure of intelligence and mental capacities. You have been given opportunities of education, etc. In other words, you have been on the receiving end. But, forgive me for being so blunt, it did not occur to you, judging from your letter, that you might owe something to the society, that you might have obligations to participate in it actively and help to better it by putting it to good use some or all of the mental gifts and capacities with which you have been endowed. Heaven knows that our society is far from perfect, and that there is much to be done in the way of raising its standards of justice and morality. It is the basic duty of everyone to contribute one's share towards this end.
Now, judging by your own description, divine providence and society in general have been quite generous to you. You have been gifted with more than the average measure of intelligence. Oh, God, why me? Have been gifted with more than the average measure of intelligence and mental capacities. You have been given opportunities of education, etc. In other words, you have been on the receiving end. But forgive me for being so blunt, it did not occur to you, judging from your letter, that you might owe something to the society. That you might have obligations to participate in it actively and help to better it by putting to good use some or all of the mental gifts and capacities with which you have been endowed. Heaven knows that our society is far from perfect and that there is much to be done in the way of raising its standards of justice and morality. It is the basic duty of everyone to contribute one's share towards this end.
No, I can't.
It's a little louder. I want to hear.
I didn't stop.
Now, judging me on description, divine providence, and the society in general, I think quite generous to you. They have been gifted with more than average measure of mental capacity. You have been given the opportunity of education, etc. In other words, you adopted. We're assuming that forgiven for being so blunt. It did not occur to you, judging from your letter, you might owe something into society that you might have obligations to participate in an activity, how to better it by putting to good use some of the mental health and mental gifts and capacities which you have endowed. Having under society is far from perfect and much done to that in the way of busy standards of justice and morality. Basically, the events contribute one's character.
Now, judging by your own description, divine providence and the society in general have been quite generous. You've been gifted with more than the average measure of intelligence and mental capacities. You've been given opportunities of education, etc. In other words, you have been on the receiving end. Forgive me for being so blunt. It did not occur to you, judging from your letter, that you might owe something to the society, that you might have obligations to participate in actively and help to better it by putting to good use some or all of the mental gifts and capacities with which you have been endowed. Heaven knows that our society is far from perfect, and there is much to be done in the way of raising its standards of justice and morality. It is the basic duty of everyone to contribute one's share towards this end.
I'm gonna do a word. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now Mashiach.
Now, food.
What?
Now, food.
Food. Judging. Arrest.
Judging, advise.
Judging always.
So he goes on the other page. By sexual.
By
Hold up. I'm not gonna.
1 minute for that. By Rafi.
Your mirror. Your sleep. What? Which word are you choosing? Which?
Sleep.
Sleep. Your sleep.
Own?
Own.
Sell.
Sell or self?
Sell.
Sell.
So I like to think about imagining myself as a therapist, and a couple walks in, and obviously this one's saying that one didn't do breakfast, dinner, lunch, supper, whatever. The other one is yelling, yeah, but that one doesn't provide enough money, time, effort, blah, blah, blah. And I thought to myself, imagine like 1,000 couples pass through my office. I could only imagine one couple walking in, like, but she does too much good. I need her to take a vacation. And like the husband's like, and the wife's like, no. He needs to eat a better breakfast. You understand? He just takes a little bite of nibble of what I'm making. That couple is not fighting. They're not in the therapist's office. They're not there. They're enjoying each other's company. So it makes me think about the article I wrote about the guy. I read about the guy who like woke up one morning and he was fighting with his wife a lot. And he decided, what could I do to make you happy? And he lived like that for like 50 days. And the turnaround that happened in the relationship.
Sometimes I'm very thirsty. I pick up my water bottle, and I never really remember how much water's in it. Sometimes just a full cup, sometimes a little bit.
Amen.
Wasn't enough. See, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Sharing. Guys, so beautiful outside today. Breeze. Bike right here, and literally just taking the scenery. It's kind of like what Rafi said yesterday, just taking a deep breath, just closing your eyes. And I remember right when I did, the room went silent, and all I could hear was like birds in the background. And I felt like I was outside. like on the way here, I just decided to, like, just taking the scenery. It's really beautiful. It's just food for thought. Also, cup this water.
Okay. Good morning. I want to acknowledge Rafi Muller. I noticed I never said those words, but I saw he's there. I was very happy. So I just want to tell you, in China, it relates to what we do now, a logical idea. In China, 700 years ago, or 800 years ago, probably 750, they used to, whoever lies, they used to kill. If you lie, just lie. Like today in Saudi Arabia for stealing, for lying. And they were so correct because all of your communication is just to know how to grow. So imagine we are a bunch of animals now, different animals. I'm a snake, and all of you are different. I don't know which one you choose, whatever you want for the act. So basically, we have communication. We talk. What are you doing now? The Rebbe says, recognize what you're doing now. We're talking, guys. You don't understand what's going on. If it would be God in the world, he would shake this conversation, what we do now. We talk. We're using, I don't know what to tell you even. The appreciation, just being together and thinking.
It's 2 point. Number one, we keep on bringing it up, but it's pretty cool how it happens more and more. First, the Rebbe listens to what the guy has to say, and then the Rebbe gives a few milas. The guy has been gifted and he had a good education, and then the Rebbe says, "Yo, let me be blunt. This and this is like straight to the problem." And that's something in general. If you want to give criticism or people a lot of times to shtech, they go straight to the shtech part. And after they try flattering, that supposed to be the opposite. First, if you really want to give good criticism, it has to be first the love, something that I guess I have to work on ourselves. Number two is, we are in a society that the more you're in it, the more you're like, let me get out of it and just stay in my own box. That always says you could be sitting in yeshiva, but there's a time you have to go to the world. You have to say, even though this world is messed up and it's getting worse and worse, you gotta still get involved and do your best, not just a little, your best.
Yeah. Not kidding. It's interesting how he's telling him that, you've been given a lot and now it's time to give back, which, I don't know. It's weird. Like, for me, it's a bit hard, but sometimes not, sometimes yeah. Yeah, but it is pretty cool, though. Pretty cool how like the same idea is in like regular people. They invest in someone or in something and expecting to get back. But I don't think you should be expecting to get back, that's all.
Yeah, I think like most of the getting back has been done already for most of our lives. At a certain point, it's like if you're old enough to realize that you should be giving back, you probably received enough that like at that point where you can go the rest of your life without getting anything, and you'll still owe a lot, even if you're just giving. Talking about myself, and I'm just thinking like Rabbi Yaska, what you keep saying, like you always say is like, no, like be aware, like know the technology of whatever you're looking at, and it's so true because if I don't know, like let's just say how this table was made, like what effort was made into getting this table here. Like the amount of work it took, the amount of money it took for someone to buy it, basically like all the small details, then how can I appreciate it? How can I appreciate the fact that this table is here right now and it's serving a purpose for me? Like, or anything, like how a cookie is made. Like, if I know that, then I could be like, wow, the amount of work it got just to get here is insane. I should appreciate it.
Talking about this table, Shkoyach Rabbi Yaska for arranging this table to be here. Yeah, this table. So so there's this guy that goes out on a date, a bachrul. He goes out on a date and he's sitting there and he finally go out and he starts speaking. He's telling him about his experience in yeshiva and how he grew up and his childhood and his job that he went on camp and the shlichus and stuff. And he's speaking about all the different challenges and things that he had, and he's talking, and after a few hours she's like, oh. So he's like, he sees that she's like a little bit like disinterested. So he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sitting here talking about myself this whole time. what do you think about me? Right, so that's kind of what I understand from this one. Made me think about it, the couples, right? Who am I thinking about? Some of us think like that.
What you should be thinking about people.
Words don't want to come out. I don't even know what I was thinking.
I think what Shalom said kind of just reminded me of something. We were on Purim, we were forbidding with Mendel Zirkin, and he was forbidding about the idea that when I see a piece of bread, let's say a piece of challah, all I see is a piece of challah. I don't see where it started from, which is back on the field. I don't see the whole process that it took to get me the piece of challah. All I see is the actual final piece. And what happens is now I'm not appreciating basically how I got there, how the challah got there. So you were saying, back to ourselves, what happens is if a person works and works, and a person even gets and gets, I just see where I'm at. So if I don't think back and I'm like, yo, this is where I was whenever it was, I'm not going to be able to appreciate, okay, whoa, I actually, I worked, or I actually received a lot. This person helped me, or that helped me. So I think just by going back into our lives, we can see.
You just brought me into a flashback because I stopped making cake, and the reason I stopped making cake is because I stopped feeling appreciated. Like obviously that I could say whatever I want, that's the fact. And yesterday I was like, I don't even have the energy to make the cake anymore, but I'll bring some students to my house. Let them make the cake. And they made the cake, and it's like the whole process of making the cake, and they really enjoyed doing it. And it really, and when I came in, I told Isaac about it. He's like, that's worth more than anything. And so there's closure and everything we're speaking about. I think, put it bluntly, I know from my wife, and I know that generally the woman, the people that are really putting in the effort, nobody notices. Nobody notices. And I know a very practical thing for me is like when students come over, clean up after themselves. It's a way of saying thank you. It's a way of appreciating the effort that went into the meal. And I'm totally with your mental here. I'm gonna say.
Really like the mental side. Kind of like opened up, not opening to me. When you said that if you ever want to, constructive criticism is only to someone that you actually care about, something you care about, on a topic that you know that someone needs, you want someone's help, and the only way you're going to get it is through constructive criticism. If you want your friend to grow, through constructive criticism, but nobody likes to be criticized. People do like to be complimented. So when you criticize, they feel criticized and they compliment them, now they feel complimented. Versus when you compliment someone and then you criticize, they can take the criticism as a compliment. Instead of like, not something wrong on me, but something that I could work on. You're not shaming me. It's not something wrong with me, it's something wrong with something I do.
So this idea to know who made this marble, people don't realize that you create above nature. When you pay attention, you gain the opposite. It becomes a part of you. When the Rebbe, I have a crazy story with the Rebbe about it, but it's not for this moment. But basically, when you see things and you say, oh, I know who made it, and how the guy went about it, you don't understand. This is Mesiras Nefesh. This is Avedis Mesiras Nefesh, to recognize how things were put in, then automatically becomes a part of you. Then everything you want is in you, and you have it already. So if you want money, you have to have the money already. Now the level what the Rebbe speaks about, that everything you want, you have already, to recognize what you have.
I think we could have just finished up this round.
Stopping?
Because we're done after this round.
You want to wrap?
Okay, you have
Okay, okay. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
No, you have another 30 seconds. Go.
So then I have to go. I have an appointment now. I have to leave. My wife told me to go. So I just want to tell you that's what I do. Exercise in the morning. I sit in the bathroom. I look at the people make the design. I said what the guy put in the showman to make it a design, and people should buy it. And this is the Chassidus. It's amazing stuff. One day we speak about this. How the Rebbe did it in our story. How the Rebbe cares everything. Why, which shirts you wear, which glasses you are, which hairstyle you have, why you have it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I would love to stay with you, but I have to go now. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for listening to me. It made me feel good. That's it. Have a great day. Have a great day. Wow.
So it's pretty cool, by the way. It's about the cake. That explains the reason why when you go to like a wedding and you're still hungry, but at the end, they go to the women's section because no one ever touched anything because they appreciate what went into it, so they leave everything. You're hungry.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why.
They're men. They just eat everything. They don't forget mine. But yeah, I'm just thinking as a trick now. If I want to criticize it,
You got the trick.
no, but yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking on the average day, like there's just those type of steps that you say like a 3-word. You say one word so casually, and it's like that does a step, and you don't realize that the other guys right now heard, and you just walk away and you feel good about yourself. Means everything. And another thing that's really cool is the Rebbe saying, first Rebbe says, if you want to get, you got to give. But then the Rebbe goes into a part and we're saying, forget about right now about as a person, you have a duty, basic duty. It's like common sense that you have to give to society. That's going to
Agree with you, Mendel. It is better than the ladies' side. Not better.
Just think about walking like somewhere through nature versus like through a city. In a city, you can't even see what was originally there. It's all created by people. That's just like a glimpse of the power we actually have. The fact that we can fly planes over our head and it's normal for us. The fact that we can think of it as normal is probably crazier than the plane itself. Like this is the power we carry with us every day. We affect the people around us every day. We affect everything around us in a very powerful way. And just being aware of what we're doing. Again, it's just awareness. It's like, what am I doing right now? What am I doing right now when I'm speaking, when I'm sitting a certain way, when I'm saying things a certain way? It all has a power. But I don't see that unless I'm looking for it. If I'm thinking about it, if I'm actively putting in the effort to see what every one of my actions do, then I can be the best person I can be. If not, then anything.
First of all, I want to thank everybody here for being here. It's amazing. Good stuff. Good conversation. Good like good things happening in my brain right now. So Yasher Koyach to everybody for the effort. So I also resonate with this idea that Mendel said before about you can feel like you give a lot and you don't get anything back. And the Abishur knows that I could resonate. And, Shalom and the Abishur knows that I could resonate with that idea. But at the same time, I think that I do the same thing. How much do I have in my life that I don't say thank you for, that I don't appreciate? So I could go and I could say I know how much it takes and how much it gives me strength when someone says thank you for something that I put in effort. But how many times do I forget to say that to my wife or to the Abishter or to other people? That for arranging.
So first of all, I want to teach these Indian people how to scam. They call me. I'm like, yeah, I'm from the Social Security, like pre-recorded Social Security. Not you. First of all, the Social Security doesn't have my cell phone number. I've never done anything that applying with the Social Security. And then, what benefits am I getting from them? So, good luck scamming me. I really should speak to them and take an hour of their time so they don't scam someone else. So the Social Security
probably is not calling you, so don't worry. Yo, what's up, Rabbi?
He wants us to come to class.
Is it Sheila?
My few, the only guys.
No one said it. No one's in jail.
No.
Pass.
Pass.
So, they want to make it seem like people are actually.
Just last minute.
First of all, I just want to tell Yossi that there's people who, when people like this call them up, they just like play with them. So like, yeah, I'll give you my number. This is my, and they just give it like a random number. No, so I just wanted to say from the Rebbe's letter, it looks like that the milas that the Rebbe's mentioning is things that this person's taking for granted. I'm not even appreciative of the fact that I'm happy. Well, there's people in the world who aren't happy. There's people in the world who can't speak to people. There's people in the world who can't think properly. There's like thousands of things that I think we all have mentally and intellectually that we don't even begin to appreciate. It's the hardest thing to appreciate because that's how I live my life. Every thought that comes into my head, I'm using those koiches. So it ends up being that, yeah, this is just how I am. So I don't even see the good in it. So I think just by realizing that, that again, the process of it building.
So you started?
Yeah, I started.
Thank you guys.
And
baby.